Boy, I tell you, it's been a fun-filled week. Fun-filled week. Hey, coach is working hard for you guys. Coach is working hard for you guys to get you this content. Look here. These daggone, these unity groups, these unity groups that's been set up by the Big Ten, the Pac-12, oh my goodness. Those daggone coronavirus liability waivers that they had those players sign, y'all know y'all wrong for that. Y'all know y'all wrong for that. Those those college coronavirus waivers that those student athletes sign, you guys know y'all dead wrong for that. But you guess what, guys? I want y'all to understand one thing. College athletes are smarter than you think. We got to give them a little credit for it. Like I said, with all of the changes on the horizon with the NCAA allowing student athletes to now be compensated for their name, their likeness, also be able to get endorsement deals, be able to get agents. Guys, this thing is about to rock itself off the hinges. And you got to understand, the NCAA has put up some smoke and mirrors for so long that now that social media is in place, all of it is being exposed like immediately. It's like rapid. It's like rapid fire. Every time something new happens, you got someone posting, they're giving their insight on how they feel. And right now, guys, when I tell you, just sit back and enjoy the ride. But guys, before I get into that any further, I gotta say, welcome back to Tomorrow Leader Sports Network with your host, Coach Walker. Guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Also, click that notification bell and like these videos. Leave your comments. Share the content. Hey guys, let's continue to keep building with each other. Like I said, Coach is working hard for you today. You got a person say, dang, Coach, how many videos did you do? I'm putting out work today. So let's get this work. Let's understand what's going on and let's move further with this, because guess what? Many of you probably on the cusp of getting ready to go to college. So you need to get a better understanding of what's going on and understand the liberties that you have at your fingertips so that you're well aware of some of your rights when it comes down to being on campus and you're able to make sound decisions for yourself. But yeah, let's get into it. The Pac-12 have a players group, Pac-12 had a players group, We Are United. And the Big Ten has a players group named College Athlete Unity. The Pac-12 had demands that they put out to the conference, conference body, the Pac-12 conference body, that are somewhat similar to those of the Big Ten. But the Pac-12, they wanted to make sure that they had protection of their eligibility, along with, wait for this one, along with coaches and administrators' pay being cut. Revenue shares for college students, a 6-year athletic scholarship for the college athletes. Now, I'm sure many of you are trying to figure out, like, wait a minute. Student athletes in most states are not allowed to be compensated on their names or likeness until 2021. Guys, I keep saying to you over and over again, please check states to see if the state that you're looking to attend college in 2021, if they signed a bill stating that you will be allowed to be compensated off your name, your likeness, and also able to get endorsement deals as well as getting an agent to help you with all of these things. Guys, it is imperative that you sit down and take the initiative to find out that information for yourself before you make a commitment to a college or university and they don't have that option for you if you're looking to build a brand. I'm just putting that out there for you. But I'm going to continue on. So, like I said, I also, like I said, check I have previous videos where I talk about the NCAA compensating student athletes. Please look at those videos and get familiar with the information that's going on, because it's going to be helpful to you in the long run. But let's check out what the Big Ten is stating. Let's check out what the Big Ten group, College Athlete Unity, had to say according to the Blade. And I'm going to read specifically from, I'm getting ready to quote the Blade on the information that was put out there concerning the athletic group, the Big Ten athletic group, so you can get a better understanding of their request from their colleges and universities. As you already know, the Big Ten had already put out their guidelines for the coronavirus, and I'll have those listed in the link below so that you can actually read through those and see exactly what's going on from the standpoint of if a player was to catch coronavirus, or how they were managing the college athletes with the pandemic if they want to continue on and play football for this upcoming season. Basically, it discussed the testing plan and how things need to be reported, so on and so forth. It's a 5-page document that I'm gonna put up for you guys, okay? But these are the demands that were sent back by the Big Ten Players Group, okay? They stated the following. The demands, some of which were addressed in the Big Ten guidelines, included but are not limited to, and this is from ToledoBlade.com, okay? It says, third-party assessment of coronavirus testing as well as health and safety standards included in the conference requirements, as well as sufficient penalties for not complying with those standards for athletics personnel failing to report violations. Testing 3 times per week for anyone who comes in contact with athletes, whistleblower protection for athletes, personnel, or athletes who report suspected violation, banning the use of the COVID-19 liability waivers. Let me stop right there. Guys, understand one thing. A lot of the student athletes had to sign waivers in order for them to be allowed to practice. So now what they're trying to do is, remember, I want to take you back. Remember, like and I'm sure some of you may not be old enough to remember any of this, but if you go back in time, if you're a historian of the sport, you will see there was a lot of players like Mercury Morris, Joe Theismann, Bo Jackson. There's a lot of guys that had some serious injuries that caused them to have to step away from the sport. And the list goes on and on and on. I'm talking about way back in the 60s and the 70s, where, you know, at the time they had partial face mask or no face mask at all, leather helmets, so on and so forth. We are, you know, about the CTE and all of that, right? So you got a lot of individuals that playing this sport that are getting hurt seriously. And once they leave the sport, they want to make sure once you're gone and as time go on, you can't come back and sue them. That's what that waiver is for. But I'm going to discuss that also, because you already know there's always one smart cookie in the bowl that's going to find a hole to go ahead and beat that daggone liability waiver. We're going to talk about that soon. But yes, the next thing they talked about was automatic medical red shirt status for players who miss competition due to a positive test or mandatory quarantine. Complimentary access to the Big Ten network for athletes' family members. Coverage for all out-of-pocket medical expenses related to coronavirus, both short-term and long-term, incurred by active college athletes. I just discussed that, right? They want to make sure if anything happens to them, be it short-term or long-term, because it's already out there that this virus can do some damage to you long-term. They want to make sure that they're going to be compensated accordingly if something happens. And we already know the Big Ten Conference, it won't be no more if that was to happen. If the Big Ten Conference get hit with, say, 5 of these, you might well go ahead and just shut it down. Because we talked about short-term and long-term, we don't know what's going on. We don't know how things are set up. I mean, it's so many unanswered questions out there. And they're what they're doing is the players are looking for protection. They're looking for a better protection than what was initially offered in that 5-page document, which I stated will be in the description below. The link will be in the description below for you to take a look at what they were going to do for the college athletes if by chance they contracted the virus. So guys, I mean, you got to understand why would these players want to go out there and play? I'm sure they had someone take a look at that COVID-19 liability waiver. They had a lawyer take a look at that and came back, and that's how they came up with a lot of these things. Now the Pac-12, they went at it a little more direct, saying, hey, y'all can go ahead and cut some of these teacher salaries, some of these coaches' salaries, and y'all can go ahead and pay the student athletes and allow us to go ahead and play ball. California is one state that is allowing student athletes to be compensated, I believe, either 2021 or 2023. I have to double back on that. But again, it's in the video that I posted previously. So please take a look at that and get familiar with that information. But guys, I'm not going to draw this out any further. I just want to give you a little insight on what's going on, and I'm going to dive further into this whole thing, this whole big cluster. I'm going to call it this big cluster that's going on right now, and give you a little more insight as far as the medical stats for each of the different conferences, so that you know what you're dealing with. The basis for me sharing this information with you is for you to understand your rights when it comes to being a collegiate athlete. You have to understand that sometimes you have to make the decisions for yourself that are not the favorable decisions to make sure your health is intact. And many of you who want to play, and we understand that you want to get out there on the field and compete. There's nothing wrong with that. But now it's come the time with everything that's going on around this country and in everyone's circle, they're starting to begin to understand that I have some say. I am important too. So guys, I salute the different groups that took a stand and said, hey, look, these are the things that we want to do, because many of the players decided they was opting out anyway. Because when they saw the liability waivers and they saw the medical, how things are going to be handled from a medical standpoint, they were just like, this makes no sense. But guys, again, like I said, if you like the content, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. Also, share the content, like the content, comment on the content, follow us on social media. The links are listed in the description below. Also, the five-page document for how they're going to handle the coronavirus in case in case a collegiate athlete caught it, is going to be listed below as well. Guys, again, I thank you for your time. And like I said, be that one and lead.